Hello and welcome. We are glad that you are here. I'm Kathy, the current president of the Indianapolis Hiking Club, and this is our inaugural podcast. Today we have our club's publicity director as our first guest. But before we start the interview, I'd like to give a brief history of our club. We were founded January 23rd, 1957. We are approximately 500 in membership. We have many daily hikes in Indianapolis and the surrounding area. Please check out our website at indianapolishikingclub.org for more information. We have hikes for beginners on up to those for seasoned hikers. So no matter what your hiking experience is, we have hikes which will fit anybody's shoes. There are destination hikes such as to the Smoky Mountains or Brown County State Park, and our club has also hiked in England, Scotland, and Germany. We have specialty hikes such as participating in the Indianapolis St. Patrick's Day Parade, where members accrue mileage for walking. Members get credit for participating in the Indianapolis Mini Marathon as well. We have short rehabilitation hikes, usually 1 to 2 miles in length, on up to all-day hikes and some in excess of 20 miles. Some hikes are on hard surfaces such as asphalt. Others are packed dirt or trails. Still some are rugged and challenging for the more adventuresome. Group hiking is a great way to build friendships while experiencing the great outdoors. Plus, it's a lot more fun to hike with others. So for our first guest, we have our publicity director, Delaram. She is responsible for our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and now our YouTube channel. And she does a wonderful job. Welcome, Delaram.
Thank you so much, Kathy, and thank you for having me.
So, Delaram, we'll start with, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so as you mentioned, I'm in charge of the publicity for the hiking club, and I manage and handle the social media pages that you mentioned. I'm an artist, teach private art lessons, went to school for interior design, enjoy nature, hiking, working out at the gym, and different activities. I'm a very social person, so I was, really happy when I found out about the club through one of my friend's mom who introduced me to the club, and I have been hiking ever since 2021.
That's great. I think I started around that time too.
Oh, yeah.
So what draws you to hiking?
So what I really love about hiking, as an artist and just for the mental and physical challenges of hiking, the photography aspect of it, socializing with people in the hiking club, meeting new people on the trails, and just learning about nature, the different types of wildflowers, trees. We have wildflower hikes and just, all these different aspects.
Uh-huh. How has your approach to hiking changed over the years?
Okay, so initially when I started hiking, I would just get out, wanted to be in nature, would do shorter miles. And I've, over time, seen myself wanting to challenge myself more mentally and physically and doing longer hikes than what I have been used to doing. So
I seem to savor it and just appreciate the beauty of the scenery. Which trails have you hiked the most often and why?
So Southwest Way would probably be the one that I would pick. And the reason being is that our hiker leader, Debbie Buchholz, who is also a retired teacher, she has hiked those trails for many years. And she's very knowledgeable about the park, all the history, the fun facts that she shares with us. And it just kind of adds to the spice of the hike, and it just makes it more interesting.
Okay, I will attest to that. The hike leaders are a very important part of our club. They form the infrastructure. They put the hikes on the schedules. and we are truly indebted to them.
Yes, I agree. Totally agree.
um, any favorite hike and why? Did we?
I think it's the Southwest Way hike would be my favorite hike, but I also do like the the Monday and Wednesday hikes at Eagle Creek. We, go to coffee and have more socializing. Not that we already don't socialize enough on the hikes. So I do love the Eagle Creek hikes at on Mondays and Wednesdays also.
Okay.
Yep.
Any special equipment or gear? Because isn't this a year-round club?
Yes, it is. And that is actually a great question. And, it's interesting you mentioned that. Just a quick funny story. During winter time when I should be wearing gloves or, my jacket, and I walk up to the group and I don't have my gloves on and it's like freezing temps and everybody's like, girl, are you going to be okay? And I'm like, yeah, you'll know over time that I will be. But anyway, jokes aside, I love the trekking cleats or the traction cleats, spikes also they're called. During winter time when it's icy and snowy, and it just kind of helps with falls, and it just protects me from not falling. And summertime, I love the water bags, the camel bags, specifically just for hydration, to keep hydrated.
And I've noticed that fellow hikers, they love to talk about their what special gear they have or type of cleats that they use, and that's very helpful. Okay. What inspires you while you are hiking?
So, what inspires me the most is the knowing that I'm out in nature with people, and knowing that no matter what, by the end of the hike, even the hikes, the more challenging hikes, like I feel better both mentally and physically. So that is what inspires me the most during hikes, and just making the decision to, get out of the house, get it done early in the morning before work if I can.
I always try to hike as much as I can in the morning as well. What are your hiking goals?
So in the beginning, I would, do the shorter hikes with the hiking club because I just wasn't sure if I could keep up with the group. I had never met anybody on the club, so I would do 2 miles, 3, 4, maybe 5. And since the beginning of the year, I made it my New Year's resolution that I would do more challenging hikes. So over time, I would just like to go on hikes where, I look at the schedule and I'm like, can I really do 13 or 15 or however many miles, and do it? And it just feels good afterwards.
Now on to some fun questions.
Yeah. I mean, these were really fun so far.
I mean, yes,
Yeah.
those are.
Yeah.
These are. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
These
it's good.
okay. What is the strangest thing you've ever packed in your bag that you actually used?
Okay, so that's a good question. I don't usually carry a bag during a hike, other than, I guess, like the camelback or water, or just a fanny pack to put my car keys in. But, for everybody who knows, or anybody who knows me on the hikes, I usually show up to the hikes with full makeup on. I never, come on a hike without my lipstick on first. So I would, if I was to have a backpack on and do maybe more backpacking hikes, I would definitely have my full set of makeup bags with me.
So the next question: what is your to go? What is your to go hike or trash gourmet meal after hike for recovery?
Okay, I have to tell you this, that sadly, or maybe it's a good thing, before I even start a hike, I think about what food I'm going to have after the hike.
I do too.
And that's the fun part about it, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So there's this meal called the ramen bomb, where it's ramen mixed with like creamy mashed potatoes. That's the vegetarian option. If you wanted to add chicken or steak or shrimp or meat to it, you can too. So that's definitely what I would go to. It's really high in calories and carb and all the goodies, but it's worth it.
It sounds like there are no wrongs.
Correct. It's my reward.
Have you ever had a, well, that was a terrible idea moment on a hike?
Yes, I definitely have, and it's been more when I, plan on going on a hike and um, it's rainy or snowy, and I just haven't checked the weather forecast, and I put on the wrong shoes or don't take a rain jacket with me, and it's raining, pouring down rain the whole entire hike, and I'm like, oh shoot, I needed that waterproof jacket or waterproof hiking boots.
I've done that as well. Usually I try to dress for 15 degrees warmer and layer my clothing, and I check the forecast, but many times the forecast can be wrong, or we get a stray shower. So anyway,
Yes, I agree.
yeah, yeah. On to the next question. What is the weirdest or most interesting animal you've seen on the trail?
So I don't know about the weirdest, but it was more like the ironic with timing of it was when I saw a couple of turkeys like on my first hike right after Thanksgiving. It was on a Tuesday Southwestway hike, and I'm like, these turkeys were lucky that they weren't they weren't eaten, and they're still alive, just kind of
They were
running
pardoned.
around.
Yeah, pardoned or something.
Correct.
Yes. If you could only eat one snack for an entire hike, what would it be?
It would definitely have to be beef jerky. I love beef jerky. Anything savory. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
What is your luxury item that you refuse to leave behind, regardless of weight?
I think I would have to say it's not really a luxury item, but just my makeup bag. Same answer as the previous question.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would take with me.
Have you ever gotten lost or had a I am definitely not on the trail anymore moment?
Yeah. There's been times that I, would feel like I have gotten lost, and it depends on which hike I had been on. But luckily, we have, really great hike leaders that know the way, and they, show us where to go. But just one example of it was one of our hikers, James Kendall, who leads the more rugged, longer, challenging hikes. And he loves bushwhacking and not necessarily knowing where we're going and throwing surprises at us. So I was at Griffey Lake hiking about 2 months ago, and we come up this area, and he's like, all right, guys, we're going this way. And I'm like, where? Where is the trail? He said, I know, but I'm not going to tell you, but we're going this way. And at the end of it, there's a trail. So I just trusted him and got up there, but I definitely felt like, oh my God, what if we're getting lost and he's not telling us? So, yeah.
It's winging it, but he knew where you were going.
Yes, exactly.
He knew the destination.
Yes, he makes it fun.
Yes, yes. What is the best piece of advice another hiker ever gave you?
Yes. So in the hiking club, as you know, we give the hikers a reward by giving them mileage badges for the number of miles that they have hiked. And, before I joined the club, a lot of people would, who have been in the hiking club for years, they would say, oh, we're reaching our 500, 1,000, however many miles. And I would say, does that matter? And then after a while, if you're a competitive person, you start doing the same thing, counting miles. So I got in that habit of, oh, what if I don't reach my goal by the end of the club year? And then, one of the hikers that I hike with on Wednesdays at Eagle Creek, she said, it really doesn't matter as long as you're doing it for the right reason, for your own health, and the miles would just come along. So if you think of it day by day, whenever you can get out there and hike and do it, you'll get your miles too by the end of the year. So that was probably the best piece of advice that a hiking club member specifically gave me.
I agree. I probably could not even quote my mileage, but others, it's very important to them, and that's okay too. But I just enjoy getting out and enjoying the scenery and talking to others. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So, what is the most beautiful spot you've ever found?
So I would have to say, before I found out about the hiking club with a different hiking group, we went to Clifty Falls in the winter, and the frozen waterfall at Clifty Falls was just so pretty, and we just stood there, took pictures, took it all in, and we went along and finished the hike. So yeah,
That is a beautiful hike, a beautiful state park here at the southern tip of Indiana. What is your favorite trail song or podcast?
that is my favorite question so far. Favorite fun question so far. So on my favorite hike or park, Southwest Way hike, there's an area where we go across a levee. And one time, as I was going across the levee, I thought of the Don McLean 1971 hit song American Pie, and the part where he says, "Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry." And then everybody else started singing along. So every time we go through that area, like either me or somebody else on the hike, like thinks of the lyrics and we sing along. So I think I would have to say that song by Don McLean.
That's cute. I like that.
Yeah.
What is the funniest or most unique trail name you've heard?
Okay. So I don't know if we've actually called anybody that on the Southwest Way hike, but I have through other hiking organizations or clubs that I've hiked with. But one of them would be the Token Tom. And it's, you call a male hiker who is who comes to a hike where it's all female hikers. You call them Token Tom.
Like a Tom Turkey.
Yes. Or just a tip for, if somebody breaks a trekking or hiking pole. And also one that I've heard is Slip and Die, which it describes the more challenging, longer hikes. Okay. So,
what is the best stargazing experience you've ever had?
I have yet to experience that during hiking because I've never really done nighttime hiking. I should probably do that. But when I was in Florida, went to Sanibel Island. It was beautiful. It was right before the 4th of July fireworks. And I just, before the fireworks show started, I just looked at the stars and I was just really amazed by how shiny they were and the number of them. And it was just so pretty. I could have almost gone without the fireworks show. But
would you rather hike in 40-degree weather and constant rain, or 90-degree with full sun and no shade?
I would have to say, just knowing my own body and how hot I get really quickly on hikes, 40-degree Fahrenheit, rain, no shade would be my preference. Definitely.
I like the 90-degree weather, but I always dress for 15 degrees warmer, so that would be a tank top and shorts.
That is smart.
and a floppy hat. But we usually dress with layering our clothing, and anyway.
Yeah, there's all different ways that it depends on you. How your body reacts to different temperatures. I think so. It's all personal.
So for our last question, I'm going to ask Delaram, if you could hike with anyone in the world from past to present, who would that be and why?
Okay, I like that question. So since, I have a fear of heights, and sometimes when there's a lot of elevation, I look down and I'm like I'm going to fall. I can't make it back safe. I would have to say the American rock climber, Alex Hanold. He is famous for his documentary Free Solo that is actually on Netflix that came out in around 2007, 2008, where he climbed the El Capitan in Yosemite without any gear, any ropes, anything attached to him. There were all these cameras on him, and I kept thinking, how would you not fall if you have all these eyes watching you? And he made it all the way to the top and survived. And then he also had a a show, which was I watched it live, called Skyscraper, where he climbs the Taipei Tower in Taiwan. It's one-on-one stories. And again, no rope, no gear, made it all the way to the top. Even stood up that tower for like 5 minutes, was taking selfies, looking down, taking it all in. And I kept thinking, all right, you did it, get back down. So I would want to hike with him and just kind of learn the process of, his mentality of what makes him not have that fear. His idea with the fact that it's all about the process and the outcome, not the outcome. The outcome will get there, but you have to focus on the process before you can get there. So it would definitely have to be him, somebody that I would pick to hike with.
So he's for the process, not necessarily the end result.
Yes,
I like that. Mm-hmm. So, well, Delaram, this is our first podcast. And to anyone listening, if interested, please join us on a hike. Check out our website at indiehike.org for more information, location of daily hikes. And thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you so much, Kathy, for having me. And hope to, see everybody who listened to this podcast on the trail. And happy hiking.